All right, welcome back. We are going to be checking out the actual data set that we'll be using in this class and looking at a couple of variables and how you can use the codebook to understand what those variable values mean. So going to be looking at pursuing p-values with Python. And so I've got that link open right here. And if we look at the first Google slide here, so looking at the homemade codebook, we'll see that I've got four variables here. Two are categorical and two are quantitative. And so each of you is going to ultimately get this same kind of slide. And what you're looking for is for variables that we have access to that have some association with each other. So right at first, we're not going to worry about whether there's an association or not. We'll get to that shortly. But right now, what we're interested in is understanding what the value for those variables actually mean and making sure that we have two categorical and two quantitative. So I'm going to start with this very first one. And so it's H4ID5F. That's the variable name when you look in the codebook. So I'm going to go right now after I've copied that. I'm going to go back to here and look in the codebook. So you can download this to make it a little bit faster if your internet's slow, but it doesn't take too long if you're here on campus. And I'm going to do a Command F and then paste that variable name. And here it is. Has a doctor, nurse, or other healthcare provider ever told you that you have or had asthma, chronic bronchitis, or emphysema? So that's the question that the folks were asked, and they answered no, yes, and some of them actually refused to answer that question. Okay? So the values that are stored in the database are 0, 1, and 6 rather than these words. But those values mean these words, and this is a categorical variable. These numbers 0 don't mean I have nothing of something, just means no, I haven't been, I have never been told that I had asthma. So I'm going to go into my Google Drive, and I'm going to make another, I'm in the wrong, pardon me, I'm in the wrong semester. There we go. I'm going to make a new program, and this is going to be actually working with this particular data set because I want to see, where is it? I want to see this variable that I saw inside the codebook. I want to see what it looks like in Python. And see that it kind of takes some use of both at the same time to really get a sense of what's going on. So I'm going to go new, more. This should be set up for everybody already now. I'm going to do another Google Colab. And I don't know, I'm going to call this Research Week 1. So we're going to have a different file for each kind of chunk that we go through. And this one here, we're just doing stuff for the very first week. So in here, I am going to make sure, okay, so the very first thing, I got to make sure that my drive is accessible. So I'm going to mount my drive. And then I haven't changed the path at all. Right? I'm not going to go through and copy that path again. I haven't really done anything to my Google Drive getting to that Python folder. So I'm going to go back to my first program up here, and I'm going to copy this command exactly and paste it right here. It should work. And when I run it, it says, okay, you've done that. Awesome. Similarly, I'm going to import pandas as PD. I'm just copying and pasting that second command. It works. And then this third command, I'm not quite gonna keep it exactly the way it is. So it says df equals PD read CSV. That part I'm gonna leave. But this isn't the file I want to load in. I want to load in the AddHealth data set. So I want to make sure, I'm going to go back to my Python folder. I want to make sure that I have the AddHealth for with demographics .csv file. And the way I would get that if I didn't have it already is I'd go back. I'm waiting for it, saying it's working, but it's being very slow. Let me try it again. There we go. Oh, that's my Pomodoro technique saying I'm done with my 25 minutes. Well, Pomodoro, you have to wait a little bit longer. So here it is. So here's the CSV. You would download this and upload it into your Google Drive if you haven't done that already. But I already have done that. I have it right here. And to make sure I've got the spelling correct, maybe I'll go through and do a rename. I'm not really going to rename, but just so I can copy and then paste. And now I've loaded in AddHealth for with demographics.csv. And so now my DF, now it says there's some warnings that some things are a little bit funky and we'll have to do some stuff later on with that. But now if I go DF to see if this is loaded, well, yeah, here's all this data. 5,113 rows. They don't show them all to us. That's what this ... means. And 979 columns. There's 979 of these different variables. Well, the one I want is, and I've forgotten what it was called, H4ID5F. H4ID5F. And find the right file. There we go. So I'm going to put brackets here and quotes and go H4ID5F. And what this is, and it even recognizes this, says, yeah, I got that in there. And what this is going to do is just show us that variable. So when I look at this, it says, screw you, there is no variable. No, what does it say? Casted key. Wow. Did you see that? Did you see what just happened? My mistake was I had a lowercase f rather than an uppercase f. And that's, very easy to do. Make a little mistake, but if you don't have the variable name exactly the same way as Python has it, it's going to not recognize it. All right, what I'm seeing here is that all these people that it's showing anyway have not been diagnosed with asthma. Well, that kind of makes sense. You're not going to have as many people diagnosed with asthma as not. So I'm going to do this other command that says .head, and I'm going to look at the first 100 and see if I can't see anything besides zeros in the first 100 people. Why is it not? Oh, it is. It's just not showing them all to me. Can I open this up? Let's do the first 50 and see if it will let me see them all. There we go. There we go. So the 14th person, I know it says index number 13, but it starts at index 0. So the 14th person, they were diagnosed with asthma. Here's a couple other people diagnosed with asthma. So we see that the data underneath the hood inside Python is a bunch of zeros and ones. And so we're using the codebook to make sure we understand what that all means. And I'm not going to go back and get it again. But what I've done here is I've taken that variable and I've written here what's the question that they were asked, and then what are the possible values here, and then which ones am I going to use in my research. If they refuse to answer this question, I don't know what's going on with them, and I can't really use their information. So the ones highlighted in black here, oops, and I need to undo that. That was a mistake. I want to pay attention to the no's and the yeses, but not to the refuse. So I highlighted that in red. So that's what I've done with all 4 of these variables, is gone in, searched for some variables that I thought were interesting, and then put the information about them on this little document here. Okay, so that was very long. I apologize, had a couple of hiccups in the middle, but hopefully it was informative.